How do you spell Odyssey?
Which, by the way,
it's very tough.
What a nightmare.
Tom Holland and Anne Hathaway walked into the Odyssey press tour as two stars who were more than familiar with carefully prepared questions and polished answers.
You know, I could have kissed him. He was that close.
Did you?
I wish I did. He's a handsome man.
A few minutes later, however, they looked more like a proud mother showing off the nicest son in the family and a son who knew he was about to be teased but had already accepted his fate.
Would you rather he was your daddy or he was your daddy? Tom.
I would rather he was my daddy after that interview.
It scared the out of me.
The laughter never comes from rehearsed punchlines. It comes from two people who feel comfortable enough to say whatever enters their minds. If you enjoy chemistry this natural, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Anne calls Tom her dream son with such sincerity that the compliment somehow becomes even more adorable.
That's all the time I have.
Bless you, bless you.
Excuse me, thank you.
Cute question, though.
Yeah.
From that moment on, Tom is practically adopted in the middle of the interview. No paperwork, no appeal process, and absolutely no chance of preserving his dignity.
What's her name?
Charlize. Penelope did have a little bit of an emotional affair as well.
You're really trying to make this work, bro. You gotta watch the movie again.
Anne can build an argument with complete confidence, while Tom reacts like a son who has just caught his mother bending the rules during family game night. He looks at her with that very specific kind of affectionate disappointment that only exists between people who are close enough to be honest without softening every word.
For the record, I don't feel confident about this choice, but these are two terrible options.
Terrible.
Completely terrible.
Even when they are forced to choose between two options, neither of them bothers pretending the question is better than it actually is. That honesty becomes their shared rhythm. There is no need to rescue the situation. They simply admit that it is slightly ridiculous and keep laughing.
You would think.
No?
Well, I mean, a little bit. I knew certain, kind of what was expected.
Okay.
And I knew kind of the rhythm of the set.
Whenever Tom begins constructing a serious answer, Anne only needs to interrupt at exactly the right moment for the imaginary tie around the interview's neck to slip sideways. She never ruins the story. She simply makes the room feel less formal.
I will say that when I saw the film, Bill Irwin's Cyclops.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Crazy.
such a wow. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. It gives me chills.
Their connection is not built entirely on teasing. When they become equally excited about a piece of filmmaking, the distance between their ages and careers disappears. For a moment, they are simply two movie fans who have just left the theater and are not ready to return to ordinary life.
I did a scene with John Bernthal, the whole thing on the mirror, and it made me forget that the camera was there, because his face was like floating in front of the camera, whereas usually you're trying to forget that there's a camera, an operator, a focus puller, and then the actor. It was like, I could have kissed him. He was that close.
Did you?
I wish I did. He's a handsome man.
I mean, you guys are very close.
We are very close.
Then Tom shares a detail that is slightly more intimate than necessary, and Anne does what every funny mother would do. She asks the one follow-up question that leaves him nowhere to hide. She does not rescue him from embarrassment. She shines another light on it and waits patiently.
That's all the time I have.
Bless you, bless you.
Excuse me, thank you.
Just redo that.
I realised I sneezed right into the microphone. Sorry about that. I thought it was on.
Even a sneeze is not allowed to pass unnoticed. Tom apologizes with an almost instinctive politeness, making him look like a child who was taught to behave properly even while sitting in front of a wall of cameras.
Anne Hathaway having 5 movies premiering this year and then announcing that she's pregnant is the level of productivity that men cannot achieve.
I mean, they are at a disadvantage.
When Anne's extraordinary year is celebrated, Tom laughs with genuine pride, while she immediately brings the achievement back down to earth with a perfectly calm response. In this relationship, compliments are always accepted with a smile and then stripped of just enough glamour to make everyone comfortable again.
Tom went up for Bane. You were 16 years old. People know that.
Yes, I just could not put the weight on fast enough, is what Chris said.
Your voice was amazing.
Exactly. They wanted this like really high-pitched, kind of scary Bane is what they wanted.
I just think the world wasn't ready.
They weren't.
Tom can turn an impossible role into a story about failing to gain enough weight, while Anne supports him with a compliment that somehow makes the situation even less serious. Whenever one of them digs a hole, the other does not pull them out. They simply offer a more attractive shovel.
It almost felt like I'd kind of gone back in time and just like landed on this beach, and it scared the out of me.
Tom also describes enormous cinematic experiences like someone who has just survived an exhausting school trip. His honesty pulls an epic setting back into something wonderfully human, standing on a beach, wearing sandals, and quietly wondering what on earth he is doing there.
And it's the same for when she turns them into pigs. You're watching it and you're like, how did you do that? That has to just be CGI. And
I had a whole conversation with Emma about that afterwards. She goes, nope, it's all practical.
It's all practical. It's like, it's animatronics, it's forward thinking, it's clever camera angles, it's great performance.
It's Chris.
It's like Chris. It's like,
Yes.
Their chemistry becomes clearest when Anne finds the exact word Tom is searching for. Tom immediately accepts it, and the conversation continues without losing momentum. They pass ideas back and forth like a familiar object across a family kitchen.
But Matt and I were discussing the scene a lot, and he basically stuck his head in and went, "Oi, thespians, get on with it. I'm gonna be on the dog." And I just remember like, oh my God, he just totally was like, stop thinking about it, just do it. And it completely alleviated any sense of stress that I had about the importance of the scene.
During an emotionally demanding scene, Tom once became so tense that he needed an unexpected joke to pull him out of his own head. Anne understands how easily a film set can make every feeling seem enormous, and she laughs at the reminder that acting, no matter how dramatic, is sometimes still just a job people need to finish.
I feel like we arrived pre-bonded.
Yeah, you really just hit it off immediately. Like, the chemistry for us was so natural and easy.
They say it felt as though they arrived already bonded, which explains why their teasing never carries a sharp edge. Their chemistry feels less like a door being opened and more like a door that was already waiting for them. They simply walked through and continued a conversation that seemed to have started long before.
Anne over here, Annie was cast in a Spider-Man movie before Tom Holland.
I didn't know about that.
I was, yes.
Alternate universe, but it all worked out for everybody.
It all worked out. Here we are today.
That's trust deeper.
Even their shared connection to Spider-Man becomes a strange piece of family history from an alternate universe. Anne passed through that world before Tom, but instead of turning it into a career comparison, they treat it like an old photograph that looks increasingly bizarre the longer you stare at it.
That is so
Wait, is that a diaper?
It is a Trojan outfit, custom designed.
I'm dying.
For the baby.
That is
and this
amazing.
cape.
A small gift instantly pulls Anne out of movie star mode and turns her into an excited mother. Tom is swept up with her, his eyes lighting up like a sun inspecting something that was not made for him, but that he still needs to examine from every angle.
None of the actors, no one, no hissy fits, just gratitude, hard work, and like just good vibes.
When they describe the atmosphere on set, they almost complete each other's sentences. There are no dramatic complaints or carefully polished stories about conflict. There is only gratitude, hard work, and the feeling that everyone genuinely wanted to be there.
Dan, how was that?
I mean, a dream come true for me, and she was such a lifeline throughout this entire process. She was like my anchor, really. Not anchor, that's not the word I'm looking for. She was the wind in my sail.
Tom describes Anne with heartfelt nautical imagery, sounding like a son writing a Mother's Day card and accidentally using every metaphor in the book. Yet the awkward abundance of praise only makes it more genuine. When they stop joking, their affection becomes even more convincing.
And I think everybody had their different relationship with it. I thought of it as like a big friendly giant. But the thing about it is, you know, when you're making movies, you have to be able to get close to the camera for eye lines. And an IMAX blimp is, you know, surrounds the camera by several feet in all directions. So that makes it very difficult. What Chris and Hoyte and all the geniuses that I mentioned.
When Anne enthusiastically explains the enormous camera technology, Tom naturally joins in to complete the picture. They listen to each other closely enough to know when to add something and when to step back. It is the ease of two people who have become accustomed to standing on the same side.
He learns everything his mum has been telling him the entire first half of the movie.
You had to learn it for yourself.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Once your dad said it.
Even their character's emotional journey leads back to one of the oldest family truths in existence. A mother can repeat something for years, but the child may only understand it after hearing the same thing from his father. Anne's expression carries the silent recognition of mothers everywhere.
How are you feeling?
I am just kind of in this state of delirium, I think. You know, I honestly am so excited. I cannot believe that it is finally here.
As the film's release approaches, their composure begins to dissolve beneath the studio lights. Anne admits that she is almost delirious while Tom sits beside her in complete understanding. Neither feels the need to appear perfectly calm. They allow themselves to be tired, excited, overwhelmed, and slightly confused.
You just really blew everybody away. You have been a part of big movies, which is really remarkable for someone of your age. And you came in every day with just your work ethic leading by, 10,000 miles.
Annie's praise for Tom's work ethic does not sound like press tour politeness. It feels like recognition from an experienced performer who has found someone younger she can genuinely rely on. For a brief moment, the mother-son jokes make room for something deeper. Real professional respect.
Futuristic at the same time.
So, if you could ask Homer one question about the Odyssey, what would you ask?
Do you think that I am a good Telemachus?
Matt said something very similar.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Not your character, but do you think I was good in it?
And I would ask, do you think Tom Holland was a good Telemachus?
Naturally, the seriousness does not last very long. Given the chance to ask Homer anything, they somehow turn the question into anxiety about Tom's performance. Anne immediately takes her son's side, transforming a literary discussion into a parent-teacher meeting that has traveled across several thousand years.
Got up there and it was full of sheep. And it was
full
nuts.
of something else.
No.
Sheep.
It was also full of sheep.
From the sheep.
On set, even a flock of sheep becomes part of their shared mythology. They confirm the detail with the urgency of two people returning from a trip who need everyone to understand that there really were an unbelievable number of sheep. The tiny memory makes their epic world suddenly feel warm and ordinary.
I mean, he's unmatched. He's an absolute legend. I love him.
I never know where the conversation's gonna go.
Tom speaks about Robert Pattinson with equal parts admiration and caution, as though every conversation with him could suddenly wander into a forest without road signs. Anne understands immediately. They both enjoy being around fascinating people, even while admitting that they have no idea where those people might take the conversation.
Kind of
dry.
Yeah, essentially dry. It was like action. I kept pinching myself, being like, just do your fucking job. Just do your fucking job. Like, you can do this.
And he did it.
I did my fucking job, and then...
When the pressure rises, Tom quietly reminds himself to do his job, almost talking himself through a private panic. It is determined and strangely innocent at the same time. He is the hardworking son who desperately wants to do well, but occasionally still needs to hear that he is capable.
Cute question, though.
Yeah.
Anne only has to call one of Tom's questions cute to restore the family hierarchy. It does not matter whether he is discussing a legendary director or a serious creative process. She can instantly make him look like a child asking for advice before his first day at school.
There was a fight scene where he kind of politely asked me to just tone it down. I guess you could say that he asked me to just tone it down a touch. Yeah.
Yet Anne does not simply protect Tom. She proudly tells stories suggesting that he is so good that other performers might need to be careful around him. Her praise is wrapped in playful exaggeration, but the pride underneath it is impossible to miss. She teases him while quietly building a pedestal beneath his feet.
About 2 hours into our conversation, Chris is like, so the part's Catwoman, and I was like, transform.
Oh, no way.
Anne can also describe changing her entire personality for an audition as casually as switching on a lamp. Tom watches with a mixture of delight and concern. An on-screen mother capable of becoming another person in 2 seconds is clearly not someone he should underestimate.
How old is Telemachus in the Odyssey?
16, I think.
I think he might be 18. Because if I'm away 20 years...
Damn it, I played it like 16.
But if I left when you were 2 and I come back 20 years later, are you 22?
That would be correct.
It's very easy to figure this out.
Yeah.
Eventually, they find themselves trapped in a basic calculation about their characters' ages. The longer they talk, the more the numbers seem to turn against them. It feels like a mother and son attempting homework far too late at night, with neither willing to admit they may have lost control of the problem.
It's kind of like, would you rather he was your daddy or he was your daddy? Tom.
I would rather he was my daddy after that interview.
By the end, even an innocent question can send them straight back into their natural dynamic, and pushes the joke one step further, while Tom becomes trapped between answering and wondering how he allowed his mother to lead him here. Nobody wins, but the entire room loses its composure. Tom Holland and Anne Hathaway are funny together, not because they are trying to become a comedy duo, but because they clearly feel safe around each other. Anne can tease Tom without making him defensive, and Tom can speak honestly knowing that she will catch the thought, turn it slightly, and hand it back with a smile. Beneath every joke, there is real affection, respect, and pride. Together, they turn a polished movie interview into a family gathering where people are allowed to feel awkward, get the math wrong, and laugh far too loudly. Let us know your favorite moment in the comments, hit like, and subscribe for more.